Most of us have experienced at some point in our lives, but at what point does that burnout require an entire life reset? In her book, Hello Head, Meet Heart, author Hannah Austin takes us through her journey and has some advice for those of us in need of some inspiration. And with us here to talk about it today, we have Hannah Austin. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Amber. I'm super excited.
Well, I read your book, and I have to tell you, your entire story is kind of about how you were burned out in your career, you needed a change, and you quit, which is so scary to people. I've done that before, and I appreciate you doing that and talking about it. What made you write this book?
I wrote it, to be honest, as a way out for myself, as almost like an avatar of myself, cheering myself on to say, it's okay to feel the feelings. It's okay to be done with your career at that point. It's okay to jump towards something new. And as I was writing it, Amber, I started sharing with women and people around the world what I was doing. And they started sharing their stories with me, which then I combined the two. And it began as a movement and has really turned into kind of a global movement for others who are wanting to share their stories. And it's talking about our feelings, right? Being authentic, being honest, saying that we're not okay. And it was really an opportunity to provide hope for myself, but I never intended it to be a book, Amber. And now that it's the book, it's really shaping and pivoting a lot of people in their lives.
And you talk about brutal honesty. You talk about being just on your bathroom floor at the end of it. Kind of give us a little bit of background of what caused all of this.
Yeah, so I was like many of us, I was burned out. My body was failing. I was suffering from migraines. I had just got diagnosed with blood pressure, high blood pressure a couple years ago. But like many women, we just take a pill and move forward. You got to keep working. You got to keep grinding. And my crash and burn moment on the floor was due to several years of neglecting my own inner voice, neglecting my health, and just continuing to move forward despite the physical consequences that I was experiencing. I was in, the last stage of burnout. I was at almost contemplating ending my life. And I didn't want that to be the case for anyone else. So I felt like at my darkest moment, I had to show people that there is hope in the bathroom with you. There is hope at those moments when you are at your darkest moment, and really use that dark moment as rocket fuel to propel you into your extraordinary life, because everybody deserves an extraordinary life.
And you really did that. I just want to read kind of one of my favorite paragraphs, if that's okay to you, because I think it's something that so many people feel because of the way society has put the kind of pressures and boundaries on us. But the truth is we outgrow things. We outgrow people and places. What once felt right may not feel right anymore. It doesn't make us bad, wrong, or weak to realize this. What will weaken us is staying in a situation we can't align with. It's death to the soul. It may be easier to keep going in our routines and stick with what we know, but if we stay knowing deep down it's not right or even good for us, we exist, but we aren't fully living. What did you mean when you wrote that?
That was truly what I was doing. I was existing, not living. And, with social media these days, I was posting pictures and, I had a great marriage and a great life overall. But just because it looks good on the outside and you are a cheerful person, extrinsically, doesn't mean that people know what's going on the inside. And I was going to work trying to empower myself, trying to keep myself motivated, trying to make something work when I should have just left, but I had followed the plan for 20 years for my career. I was going to retire at this place. And when I looked around the room at a lot of women and a lot of people who were still at that organization, frankly, Amber, that looked like they were going to keel over any minute from stress, I thought to myself, I cannot live this life anymore. I don't want to be that person, right? I don't want to be that person that dies of a heart attack and is working in healthcare. Like, what a cathartic moment. And at that moment, I really realized that I have other choices. We all do. And sometimes we are just living in this small box that we put ourselves in. And the world is so much larger and expansive. You just have to start exploring it. But the question is how.
And you continue to help women because you have an amazing organization now, She Shatters, that's helping women find their legs. And so many of us probably have been in the same shoes that you are in to some extent, and we understand and can emphasize and feel. How can we find more information on your book and where to get it?
Sure. Well, if they're interested in just hearing more about She Shatters, our organization, you can visit me at www.sheshatters.com. And we also have a podcast on Spotify and Apple called She Burns with Hannah Austin. And if they want to get a copy of the book, if they're interested in a Kindle, it's available on Amazon. And then we have the new paperback copy available on Amazon as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah, for talking with us and for writing this book. I can't wait to go back through and actually go through some of the exercises and hopefully learn more about myself in the process. So I appreciate you doing that, and I really hope our viewers take advantage of that as well.